Today's day 13 and it is Tuesday about the 12th of April, I think. We had a really nice night in our bed and breakfast, the Bismarck bed and breakfast in Hamburg. And today we are actually going to move over to the Minitel Hotel to go and get Joe's shoes. We found a great guy called Steve who is driving us all around town. In fact, keeps on ringing and just checking that we're okay. So he picked us up at the trailhead at the 501 shelter, brought us into town, is going to drive us out to the Minitel today, and then will drive us back to the trailhead on Wednesday morning. We don't have many chores to do today. It's going to be a real day off. We did our laundry yesterday. Joe's been to the supermarket and bought a whole bunch of really good food stuff. We need to go to Walmart and get a bit more food, but our plan is I'm going to edit some videos. We're going to eat a whole bunch of fruit and vegetables and protein and pretty much anything else that comes along, really. I'll keep you posted. So we've just checked out of the Bismarck bed and breakfast. Fantastic. And we're going to wander down Old Town Hamburg, downtown Hamburg, and have a little look around before we head off to tonight's accommodation and to Walmart just to get those few bits and pieces. So there's beautiful terrace houses here, and let's go and check out what downtown Hamburg is like. Town with some pretty old buildings, and kind of in terms of architecture, there's a definite sort of Germanic influence here in the buildings. I love the red. Just been to Walmart. We've got lots of food, but it's in so much packaging, it's hard to tell exactly what it's going to look like when we take more of the packaging away, but we've done that thing standing outside Walmart, pulling everything out of its cardboard boxes. We've got a 17-minute walk to our hotel, and it's a beautiful day.
Hopefully it's like this tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. I mean, what's the weather doing? It's almost gone from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Happy Joe. Happy Joe. I'm not going to be slipping and sliding down the trail.
Woohoo. Let's go for a close-up and just see what tread looks like on a Hoka. Look at that. Oh, not that. Not that, but that. Yes. That's a really good result. Thank you, Hoka. This morning's view from our hotel room in Hamburg. I'm going to call Steve. We call him Crazy Steve, our shuttle driver, who has been amazing, and he's going to call us in about an hour. It's been a useful place to stay, but I won't miss that view or the noise. It's the Minitel Hotel, or pretty much the only hotel in Hamburg. So if you come off the trail and come to Hamburg, it's handy because it's close to, if I come around, to a Cabela's, which has got lots of guns, but it's got backpacks and camping gear. And if I come around a bit further, in the distance there are fast food restaurants like McDonald's, Starbucks, Wendy's, all that kind of stuff. And over further in the distance is the Walmart, is maybe a 15-minute walk. Oh, here comes Steve, our shuttle driver. Here he comes. We get to meet Steve and his wonderful dog, whose name I can't remember.
I'll take a photo of that.
Hey, I'm ready to sit in your seat again. Are you going to let me in? Maybe. Maybe not.
I left them home. I said, I don't want them to eat no more. But He really enjoyed them.
Let's go.
501, here we come.
5:01. Here we come. Do you know it's going to be up to 27 degrees? Oh, that's in Sarah.
82.
Yep.
What's that about?
From freezing cold to heat. Love it.
82, and tomorrow 70 something. But a chance of a little shower, not much. And then Friday, another 75, I think. Have a safe trip.
Thank you. You've been
Enjoy
awesome.
yourself.
See you, buddy.
Hey, good boy. Yeah,
He's
you're
such a good boy. Don't eat all that chocolate at once.
I won't.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Bridget.
So what day are we on now?
April 13th, day 14. It's not quite 7:30 a.m. in the morning. We're back at the 5:01. Just got dropped off by Steve, our shuttle driver, and his little buddy, the dog.
It's been awesome.
It's been great. So a few new things. One you'll notice.
I know, smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yeah, I'm not into the whiskers, I hacked at it for about an hour last night with a very blunt disposable razor. They were just a lot of fun. And down here,
Oh, yes.
I've got new shoes. These are my Speedgoat Hoka Ones 4s, and lovely grip. Look at the grip on those.
I know, we did the grip. We have
We've
done the grip.
done the
Let's
grip?
do the grip again.
Yeah, I'm proud of the grip, so I'm
Grip's
happy
great.
about that. And what else? Obviously I've got the back. I haven't pack. When we stop for lunch later on today, I'll actually go through, tell you what happened with my original pack, and then I'll tell you about this pack. Yeah, because it's been a bit of a drama.
And what's the plan for today?
15 miles minimum.
Yeah.
And but there is another stealth camp about 3-4 miles past that. We'll just see how we're feeling and go from there.
Awesome. Okay, charge.
Let's charge north.
Let's charge. Other obvious changes this morning. I'm not wearing my whole wardrobe because it's actually quite mild. So I'm able to take all those layers of merino off and just wear a shirt. And the other thing that's happened is I've taken my woolly hat off. When we got to town a couple of days ago, I literally had not taken that hat off my head for 3 days. I was walking in it, I was sleeping in it. It was that cold. So the woolly hat is off, and I have optimistically put my sun hat and strapped it to the back of my pack. I'm hoping that there may be an opportunity to bring it out. Another morning, and more Pennsylvania rocks. There's big ones at the moment, but we've got to the top here, and we're looking down on really pretty countryside. It's great to be walking in the warm weather. It's just lovely. Coming up for 3 miles in this morning, and wow, it's lovely to walk out into this view. It's also nice to do a little bit of downhill. Joe and I have very heavy packs today. I mentioned in our last video that in fact we hadn't had enough food and been starving and cold for days. Well, we have gone from one extreme to another. We have a lot of food in our packs, and we just need to eat vast quantities to lighten it up. Just came across this ledge with these rocks on it, PA rocks. You know, we hadn't wanted to go on about it too much because, you know, you can talk yourself into believing things are bad, but there are a lot of rocks in Pennsylvania. So this is really cute. Heaven is here, higher truth. Pass it on, ore, strong, all sorts of great rocks. Okay, charge. Let's charge on the rocks. It's a bit hard to see, Joe. Maybe you could spell out what it is that you've written down there.
200.
200. 200. Fantastic. We've been promising to talk about this for a while, what we've just been doing instead of talking. But what happened with your pack? Because we saw that something happened in Boiling Springs.
Yeah. Well, for the last 3 years we've been playing around with different backpacks and kept on going back to the, for me, the AARN, A-A-R-N, Natural Balance, and absolutely loved it, had it dialed in. Just a brilliant pack, and as the name says, Natural Balance. It was beautifully balanced, sat really well on the hips. You just sometimes didn't even know that you had a pack on, which is what you're after with a backpack for day in, day out. Unfortunately, two things happened. There was a wear and tear on a bungee cord that put pressure on a centre hub made out of metal, and that metal snapped, which basically made the backpack useless. Now, this is not a dig at AARN. I know what I did, and it was a user issue, and that's where you try to kick yourself in the pants. Needless to say that all the contents got taken out of it. It got put in a box, and it's been sent to our lovely friend Joan on the west coast, and we'll pick it up at the end of the trip, and I'll send it back down to AARN to get repaired. It's actually a New Zealand brand. Brilliant backpacks. Bridget's actually using one. You got the Featherlight, I think, honey?
Featherlight Freedom.
Yep. So now we've been on a manhunt for a new backpack, and it's been really, really hard, but we found a Gregory 75 litre, don't know what brand or sub-brand it is, but the main brand's called Gregory. It's got zips, more zips, and useless zips. But unfortunately, that was the only backpack, say over 50 litres, that was available at REI. And we've been to Walmarts, we've been to other
Cabela's.
Yeah, Cabela's, and they're all out of stock. And so I'm just going to persevere with this, and it's not comfortable, but it's like suck it up and keep on charging north. So the next town we'll get into in about 3 or 4 days, we'll see what that's like, and there could be a outfitter store with some stock, and we'll see what we can do. And have to buy another one, which I don't mind, and this one will get passed down to one of the family members, so it won't go to waste.
And on a side note, this is just a sensational spot for a picnic, isn't it?
Well,
Look at
hey, let's put this in context. I walked 0.2 of a mile,
You did.
so
0.4, I think.
320 yards down that hill, and got fresh water from a piped spring, and turned around and walked all the way back, and we're sitting right here now, and cheese and crackers, a fig bar, and you got the audacity to complain?
No, I'm not complaining. We just had Manchego cheese.
True.
I've got no complaints. Lunch is done, and we're continuing with our walk through the woods. We have had a few nice views today, which has been great. So that's the story of Joe's pack. It's an ongoing story, but it hasn't been completely resolved yet. It's a work in progress. As I mentioned earlier, with regards to food, we've gone from one extreme to another today, from being hungry and cold last week to being overstocked with food this time. We left a pile behind in our motel room too, because I just bought too much. So got lots of delicious food. Not exactly sure how many nights we're going to be out for, but we certainly aren't going to starve. But I'm kind of keen to get eating just to lighten my pack. Probably 2.5 hours to go. Maybe all up we might do 15 miles today. It's been a hard day today. The rocks are unrelenting and it's just makes for quite hard walking, and that coupled with extremely heavy packs has meant that today has been rough. Oh, not rough, just tough. So Joe's charging, I'll keep plodding, and we're going to stay at a shelter tonight, which I'm looking forward to. That'll be fun. I'll keep you posted. Oh, and at the end of the day, very hot, very humid, sore feet, but we're coming down to Eagle's Nest Shelter. We bumped into a bunch of section hikers, I think, who are heading to the shelter as well, so we will pitch our tent, but really looking forward to taking our very heavy packs off and drinking lots and lots of water. And there she is, the Eagle's Nest Hostel. We're going to camp, but nice place for a fire down there, and it looks like there's some nice tent pads around here for us to choose from. 6 p.m. Our tent's all pitched, and I'm in the process of brushing my teeth. I've had my dinner, and we're not going to stay in the shelter tonight. We're going to stay in our tent because my tent is so cozy. I love sleeping in our tent. But what you can see going on over here is Joe, of course, there's no bear bag and there are no bear cables. So Joe's just about to hang our food up in the tree so that it's away from the bears. Standard procedure. It's a very little house on the prairie, but there's our shelter, there's the food bag hanger, and there is our bags hanging up in the air so the bears can't get them well away from our tent. I quite like when the shelters have got bear boxes or got cables that make it really easy for you, but regardless, we can sleep soundly knowing that a bear's not going to be knocking on our tent door going, hand me over your food. Kind of a summary of what today's been like walking in Pennsylvania. So out of the 501 to Hawk Ridge Shelter or something, I'll put it down underneath. It's been mentally tough today just because of the sameness of the area that we've walked through. It's just looked pretty much like this and been really rocky, so it's been quite hard on our feet. We've both taken painkillers just to sort our feet out. But yeah, it's 6 p.m, it's time to go to sleep. Quarter past 6, we've got our bear bags down. Just that's the last thing that needs to go into our packs. It's definitely getting lighter in the mornings, and I don't know if you can see over there, beautiful sunrise. Joe thought it was a good idea to get up at 4:30. Tried to encourage me that 5 a.m. would be an excellent time to head off. I wasn't quite so keen. So, yeah. Anyway, 6:15, and we have food, and we're nearly packed up and ready to go. Beautiful morning.
Bridget.
What?
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
Guess what?
What?
At 4:20 a.m. this morning,
Yeah.
when I wanted to get up and start hiking,
Yeah.
I saw a wild beast.
You saw a critter. You've added to our critter count.
Yeah.
What did you see?
I saw these two little shiny lights.
Oh,
with
okay.
little ears above them, a little pom-pom thing at its back. It was a wild beast.
It was a bunny.
It was a rabbit.
Okay, so that's what, 3 deer, a lot, no, actually maybe 10 deer, a raccoon, a bunny,
Squirrels, heaps of squirrels.
and lots of squirrels. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. And what that sign means, Joe, is that we are still on the Appalachian Trail.
I haven't got you lost yet, and we're heading north, or as we say, charging north.
Critter. Ooh, see? We've seen a snake. First snake I've ever seen that's not in a zoo. Okay. Thank you, Joe, for pointing it out. I'm glad it's not a big one with a rattling tail. But there it's moving now. See, it's the real thing. New Zealanders, look at that. Eek. Yep, we're still trudging through the rocks. Just seeing my first snake. I think it's because it's warmed up so much that we're going to start seeing more snakes, apparently. Hooray. We're 2.3 miles from Port Clinton, and I think we'll stop and have a cup of coffee.
What are you doing, Bridgie? Did you fall over?
I did.
Ah, any broken bones?
No.
Good.
So the climb into Port Clinton, we've come down a steep hill, is pretty brutal. And we've just arrived at some steps, bumped into Panther, who is about to go up that hill over there. Good luck, Panther. We're going to stop at Port Clinton for a coffee. And then we're going to basically walk back up another hill, identical to the hill we just came down. So a coffee, take my shoes off, have a rest. But yeah, it's a hot, sunny day. The weather is bizarre.
Here's Bridgie. We're coming into Port Clinton. We're at the railway yard. All the shunting, we just have to cross over about 8 rail lines, but good fun.
Crossing the bridge into Port Clinton. It's lovely to be down near water and hearing the sound of the river. We just stopped for a quick drink and some nuts down by the river in Port Clinton. Couldn't find anywhere that we could buy anything to drink. I think we've probably turned the wrong direction. We followed the Appalachian Trail. Maybe we should have gone into town. But now, having come down a really, really steep hill, we've got a really, really, really steep hill to go up. And it's hot, it's humid, it's sunny, but you know, you just gotta, it's one step at a time up these big hills. We haven't had many of them yet, so I am going to put this away so that you don't have to listen to me swearing and puffing. But I am facing this monster hill with a certain amount of trepidation. Slowly getting up the hill. The breeze is lovely. And the views are pretty through the trees. Popped out of the woods, rocky woods, and we're looking for the Windsor Furnace Shelter now. Going to stop early-ish. We've only done 15 miles, but we've timed it for another 15 miles tomorrow, and there's somewhere that we can resupply and buy some food the day after. So I'm looking forward to putting my feet up, that's for sure. To get to the shelter, Windsor Furnace Shelter is directly on the trail, which is great. Really looking forward to taking my pack off and settling in. And the privy, in fact, is just all long drop over there in the trees. Looks new actually, and quite smart. So we've settled ourselves into the shelter. There's just been a really big clap of thunder. There are storms scheduled for this afternoon. We've decided we are going to sleep in the shelter tonight, so we're not going to pitch our tent. We're going to hang out, hopefully not with the mice. 15 miles today. Yeah, I really couldn't do a lot more than that. I got a sore foot and I was feeling a bit tired. So whilst I was a bit disappointed in myself, you just got to be ready to listen to your body and stop. So I'm going to put my foot up, rest it, rest them, and have a cup of tea made by Joseph Jakisevich, aka Charge. I'm just sitting in front of the fire. If I turn around, you can see we've got a beautiful fire going. We got to the shelter quite early, about 2:30. We'd done our 15 miles quite early, and you know, you've probably detected in the last couple of days I've been talking about, oh, it's been really tough. And you know, it has been tough. We hit the trail with a hiss and a roar 2 weeks ago, and full of all that sort of joy and enthusiasm, which I've still got, but I've been beating myself up over the last 2 days because I have slowed down a bit, and my feet and ankles are a bit sore because we've been rolling a bit on the big rocks. But 15 miles today, we've got 15 miles planned for tomorrow, and then we are going to walk into somewhere where there's a market with some lovely fresh food. I think, you know, armies will march on their stomachs. I think hikers march on their stomachs as well. So we need to make sure that we're eating really good food. We need more protein. We need to make sure that we've got plenty of electrolytes going. And I probably need to be a bit kinder to myself and not have such enormous expectations that we're going to be striding up the trail, pulling 20s every day, because that's just unrealistic. We are largely by ourselves out in the woods, so we meet the occasional day hikers. Today we met Panther, who's section hiking south, so he was coming down from Delaware Water Gap and heading to Harper's Ferry. So it was nice to have a chat with him because he'd seen some of our friends who've walked through us and who we've met, for example, backstroke. So it was nice to catch up on where those guys were up the trail. But we are largely by ourselves. We're at the shelter, again by ourselves tonight. We've lit a beautiful big fire, and we're sleeping inside tonight because the forecast is for rain. So rather than sitting in our tent and getting everything wet, we thought we'd hang out, hopefully not with the mice, hang out in the shelter, get up and start bright and early in the morning. But tonight we are going to enjoy the fire. We're going to play cards, because we've always we play cards all around the world. We love playing cards. And we are just going to relax. Oh, isn't that fire lovely?
It's beautiful.
There's something about a fire, isn't there?
Yep, well, you know that I've always been a huge fan of open fireplaces. I think we've had one in all our homes. Just about every campsite we've been to, they've actually had a fire ring, homemade. It's out of the rocks, which are very plentiful. So today I actually had a few cotton wool balls, some Vaseline, and it's my fire starter. So it was really easy to actually start. There's plenty of dry wood around. It's a little bit below at the moment, so I'm going to let it burn down a little bit, but I just love it.
So today is the beginning of week 3.
Yep.
So yesterday was our 2-week anniversary.
Yep, so day 15 completed, done and dusted.
How's it going?
It's really interesting.
Just reflecting on the last 2 weeks.
It's been really interesting, and it doesn't matter how much preparation, training you do, until you actually get out here and actually encounter it, experience it. You go through the highs, the lows, the rolls. There's a lot of different type of terrain. The rocks are just phenomenal. But hey, we knew it, and I'm not bitching about it. Suck it up and walk it, but it just slows you down. And so we were getting 17, 18, 19 miles in a day, which dropped back to that 15 mark, and your feet are actually pretty beaten up.
And you have to concentrate, don't you?
Yeah, that's hard doing that, because we're walking it's about 7.5, 8 hours a day, and you've got to look at every foot. And if you want to look at something, stop and look. Don't keep walking, otherwise you're going to go for a tumble.
And the last thing I want to ask you about, our critter count has clearly changed today. What happened? Saw our first snake. And so it happened, I did look up, and I was looking about 3 meters in front of me, 3 yards, and I saw this stick move. And I realised it was a snake. So we've got some pictures of that, so we'll put those up. But hey, saw our first snake. I don't know what type it was, but somebody could tell us. Anyway, it was a big, ferocious, poisonous one. Yeah. Wow.
But I was brave.